Secretary Maro
may
House is
malungkot
there.
tayong
Let's listen in.
balita. At 7:25 this morning, yung mga volunteer divers natin nakita yung fuselage. May mga katawan sa loob pero hindi pa nila talaga ma-identify. Nung nakalapit sila at about 7:45 a.m., may mga indications na isa doon sa mga katawan sa loob ng fuselage ay sakay Secretary Robredo at that was at 7:45. No? Itong mga pangyayaring ito ay ginanap roughly 800 meters from shore, somewhere here, no? At a depth of roughly 180 feet. 180 feet. Yung unang sumabak na mga tech divers, yung mga puti na nakita natin kahapon, yung si Matt at saka yung kanyang team ng dalawang babae, no? At 8:15 kumpirmado na yung isa sa mga katawan ay yung sakay Secretary Jesse Robredo. In-inform natin ng Pangulo at natawagan ng Pangulo ang kanyang misis.
By what authority did he develop the property?
Jesse Robredo at work just hours before he boarded the ill-fated plane. He was one of the most trusted men in government, trusted not just by the president, but by the country at large. 54-year-old Robredo was the perfect choice to be Interior and Local Government Secretary for President Benigno Aquino's reformist purposes. A political ally and a close friend of Aquino's, Robredo was seen as an honest man. He was mayor of his home city for 20 years. It was recognized as the most effectively managed local government unit in all of the Philippines.
He wasn't a theoretical or conceptual person, but he really implemented reforms leading to transparency.
When his plane crashed in the central Philippines on Saturday, the search for him and his two pilots gripped the nation. Accompanied by many senior members of his cabinet, President Aquino flew to the island closest to the crash site as soon as he could. He oversaw search operations himself, not wanting to leave until Robredo was found. Jesse Robredo was one of the most powerful men in the Philippines. As Interior Secretary, not only was he in charge of the police, he was also among the most visible faces of government, handling risk reduction and management in times of natural calamities. Bottom line, Robredo was a trusted public official, a rare concept for Filipinos who were growing exasperated by endemic corruption and patronage politics. He stood apart. Now he is mourned by a country that embraced him, frightened to accept that another leader who personified hope and change is gone.
Tears, wails, grief. The morning starts with devastating news. Supporters weep when they hear Interior Secretary Jesse Robredo is dead. His body found 3 days after his plane crashed in Masbate. Volunteers who kept vigil are in shock. Their hopes he would come back alive shattered. In seconds, an empty house fills with people. The air is heavy, words few and far between.
Kahit po mga personal na namin na problema, tinatanong kami kung ano ang mga problema namin sa opisina, sa aming trabaho.
At noon, Robredo's wife Lenny and their 3 daughters ride a van to the Naga airport to claim his body from Masbate. There, they meet President Benigno Aquino, who helps to bring Robredo's body from the airport to the funeral parlor. Aquino's cabinet secretaries are in Naga, joined by other public officials to pay their respects to a beloved peer. On the streets, yellow ribbons appear, and hours before the wake, people are walking wearing yellow, Robredo's favorite color.
Wala na po yan. Maraming natutulungan niya eh. Parang hindi siya patay. Hindi siya patay.
Hundreds are expected to attend the wake to say a final goodbye to the man who served Naga for 18 years. The outpour of grief and support here is symbolic of the admiration they have for Robredo. While his death saddens locals, they find comfort in that his body was found and that he is back here in Naga. For them, Robredo is finally home. Maria Lourdes Terbio and her son live at Mawagma village. A former illegal settler, Terbio and her neighbors now own houses, thanks to the late Interior Secretary Jesse Robredo. Then Naga Mayor Robredo transferred them to Mawagma and gave them homes with water and electricity, including a plot of land to plant crops in. He handpicked areas unlikely to flood for relocation and made sure the city's Urban Poor Affairs Office responded quickly to their needs.
Siyempre, sarili na ang bahay. Tapos doon, squatter lang kami doon. Hindi po namin siya makakalimutan.
When he first became mayor, 20% of city dwellers were squatters. After 10 years, he wiped them out from the city center. Aside from housing, Robredo also focused on the youth. The Naga City Youth Officials Program, which integrates youth in government operations, is one of his most awarded projects. He also built Naga City Science High School during his term, which offers high-quality public education to the brightest Naga teens. Sponsored by the local government, aspiring doctors and engineers attend NCSHS for only 3,000 pesos a year.
Thank you po kay Sec Robredo kasi kung hindi po sa kanya, wala ang Naga City Science High School, and siguro po kahit po ngayon hindi ko alam kung saan akong school kung hindi dito kasi yung iba po sobrang mahal, sobrang layo, and parang nagpapasalamat po talaga ako sa kanya.
Robredo's family say the outpouring of prayer and support for him gives them strength. Thousands come to his wake to say goodbye and thank you. For Nagueños, the death of Robredo hurts. But as days go by, they smile more often. They are more willing to talk about their memories of him as they realize that having known him at all is enough reason to be grateful.
Was highlighted. Ang hindi hinighlight doon, there is a directive. It should be a joint effort between PNP, NBI, Armed Forces. Number 2, we increase the number of dedicated tracker teams to look for them.
Ang hiling ko po sa inyo ay patuloy tayong magbantay laban sa katiwalian at pang-aabuso. Sa dapat at tuwid na pamamahala, pinatutunayan natin ang mga pangarap na dating kila abot-tanaw lang ay nagiging abot-kamay na, isang posibilidad na nagtutulot ng malawakang ginhawa at kapayapaan para sa ating mamamayan.
So, our experience with Jesse was first as a very generous manager who was willing to share what he knew. And then when I joined the Ramon Magsaysay Award Board, medyo tinitingnan na namin siya as a possible candidate. But you know, they have to be nominated. So even if I knew him, I couldn't nominate because I was on the board. And so we were so glad when in 2000 he was nominated, and he was the genuine article, we found out. I mean, after doing very thorough research on what he was doing in Naga, without his knowing it, syempre. It was such a joy to be able to give him the award.
After his first 3 terms as mayor of Naga City in 2000, Jesse Robredo became the first Philippine local government official to win the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Government Service. The award's foundation featured him in a video produced on its 50th anniversary, retelling how he transformed Naga.
In its glory days, Naga City was a flourishing town and a first-class city in the Philippines. Due to government neglect, corruption, and indifference, the city regressed. It became poor, congested, squatter-ridden. Pornography, gambling, and crime thrived. The 1980s was a dark period for Naga, by then downgraded to a third-class municipality. Toward the end of that decade, Jesse Robredo, a visionary and a pragmatic leader, offered to lead his city out of its rut. His commitment derived from family-bred values of hard work, integrity, frugality, and compassion. Jesse already had a fulfilling career in a large conglomerate in Manila. Then the People Power Revolution happened. Responding to the new president's call for service, he left his corporate job to become the mayor of Naga City. He was only 29 years old.
Yung una kasi, ang tingin namin sa kanya, walang magagawa. Inexperience, hindi naman siya naging barangay official, councilor, or vice mayor. So bagong salta, walang magagawa. Will only maintain status quo.
You're not part of the establishment, so you're not expected to do as the establishment did before your term.
Jesse ran Naga City like a corporate entity. He challenged the people using slogans and logos to full effect.
Kauswagan para sa Naga. Kung bako ngunyan no arin pa.
However, as time passed by, nakita namin yung mga changes na ini-introduce na sa city government. Unang ginawa niya, yung aptitude test sa mga empleyado from the lowest ranking officer para makakuha ng nararapat na empleyado sa tamang posisyon.
A culture of performance and excellence soon became the norm. Punctuality was strictly practiced. Employees turned into partners in development through the Productivity Improvement Program. Beyond rules and regulations, City Hall is now driven by a vision and a mission. Jesse disdains patronage and early on had a falling out with his politician uncle.
I'm not taking sides kung sino yung gusto nino.
The latter had recommended to the post of city police chief someone whose stance on illegal gambling was questionable. The personnel selection board was reorganized with the participation of people's councils. This depoliticized the system of appointments. Outside City Hall, citizens truly became stakeholders in their city's growth. Citizens groups and NGOs were officially represented in various planning and decision-making bodies. In simple yet powerful images, they expressed their aspirations for Naga. In simple vernacular, to erase the city's huge budget deficits, Mayor Jesse insisted that businesses pay their taxes. Efficient tax collection assured funds for government programs. The morale of civil servants improved as salaries were raised and standardized. To discourage corruption and practice full transparency, all bidders for project contracts are posted on the city's website, as are all medicine purchases of the city's medical clinics. An ordinance moved public transport terminals away from the city center. This expanded the commercial areas and attracted new investments. Private sector funds turned a neglected area by the railroad tracks into a new commercial and business hub. Kaantabay sa Kauswagan, or Partners in Development, achieved what was nearly impossible for the urban poor: housing, improved living conditions, and livelihood opportunities. In 1996, this program was cited worldwide as one of the top 40 best practices by the UN Commission on Human Settlements. As a public servant, Robredo never doled out money, but was generous with his time and talent. His methods have been replicated in other cities in the Philippines. His counterparts elsewhere in Asia intently listen to what he has to say.
The affirmation that people in the city do approve what we're doing. I think that is the greatest satisfaction that that we derive out of this work that we're doing.
Jesse Robredo is now on his 5th three-year term as Naga City Mayor. He continues to prove that it is possible to run a city government with efficiency, credibility, and compassion.